Hundreds of convenience stores are closing down, and some of these may be in your neighborhood. I have all the details for you here in the video. Let's get right into it. First off, can I ask you a huge favor of you, please? Make sure to like the video with the big thumbs up button right down below. Also, if you haven't done so, please make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Again, with the big subscribe button down below. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your support, and let's get into it and talk about it. Now, first off, when I say convenience stores, what is the name that comes to mind? Probably the same name that all of us are thinking about at the same time right now, right? Yeah, 7-Eleven, exactly. One of the biggest convenience stores out there all across the country, and they just announced a few days ago that they are closing hundreds and hundreds of stores. Now, I'm not talking 200 or 300, but in fact, 444 stores across the country, or even across North America, are going to be closed down. Now, I want to point out the details of this because if you ask me, this is showing us a pretty clear picture as to what's going on across the country. When you see a huge convenience store chain like this that's closing down 444 stores, I don't know. Again, more on this in just a second here, but I want to jump into the details about that and why I find that to be very concerning, okay? Now, here's the thing. It sounds like a lot. Wow, 444 stores, that's a lot. I agree with you. It actually is a lot. But when you look at their overall portfolio of 13,000 locations across all of North America, well, this is only 3% of their total portfolio. So when you look at it that way, you're like, 3%, and it's really not that much. You're right. But when you look at just 444, you're like, wow, that's a lot, right? Now, I dug into this a little bit further because I wanted to know why. Why are they closing this? Well, here's what they found. They found that they are finding decreased foot traffic, right? So like decreased amounts of people coming into the locations. They've had 6 consecutive months of decreased traffic. It's not a good sign, right? But here's the thing. Is it going to be basically the downfall of 7-Eleven as a whole, or is this just a stretch that we're going through right now with elevated prices, high inflation, all these things like this, and people are just not buying as much? I kind of think that's the case across the board because we're starting to see that across the board with a lot of other companies as well that are out there and showing that, hey, we're barely staying afloat right now, or the only people that are really keeping this whole thing going are those individuals that are coming out and spending any little bit of money that they have, maybe floating balances and credit cards. You know, sometimes they cite high-income people, but it's kind of a rush situation, and again, we're seeing it here with this as well. Now, this is also interesting that I found while doing additional research as well. They said since 2019, and again, I'm going to be honest with you, this is not really an area that I have any knowledge about as far as what I'm going to tell you here in just a second, but I find it to be interesting, and I'd love to hear your feedback down below on this. But they said since 2019, they've seen a 26% reduction in tobacco sales. I don't know. To me, that sounds like a lot. In, 5 years or so? Yeah, give or take 5 years. They've seen a 26% reduction. So a lot of that coming from cigarettes. So I don't know. It makes me wonder. Okay, so this is what it made me wonder. Are less people smoking these days, or has it just gotten to be so incredibly expensive that people are like, I'm kind of good, I don't need to do this? Or are they finding it somewhere else? I don't really know. That's something that I'm just not very familiar with. I don't do any of that. I don't buy any tobacco products, so I don't really know much about it. But from what I remember and from kind of what I've witnessed, I think prices on these products are very, very high, right? They keep taxing these things like crazy. I don't know what the tax rates are on these different products, these different tobacco products like cigarettes and stuff like that, but I think it's super high, okay? Obviously, it's a little bit different depending on which state you're located in, but if you're somebody who smokes or uses tobacco products, I'd love to hear from you down below. Is it getting to be to the point where it's so expensive you're like, I might be getting kind of good here. I might not need to do this anymore. I don't know. Or maybe you're just like, hey, I'm so committed. I just enjoy it so much that I'm not going to give this up. I'd love to hear your feedback. And by the way, throw some prices down below. I'm just kind of curious. I'm very curious. Obviously across the country, it's very, very different, but let me know. Seriously, I'd be very curious to know, like, what are you paying these days for just simple packs of, tobacco products, cigarettes or whatever. So anyway, found that to be very interesting. Now, it looks like they're going to be implementing more food because this is possibly their highest selling category for 7-Eleven. They're going to be implementing more food. This is actually kind of interesting as well. Have you noticed recently some of the most weird stores out there that are picking up different food products, right? You go to like your local hardware store and you're like, yeah, I need to get a hammer, a saw, I don't know, some bolts, and you're like, oh, by the way, as long as I'm here, I might as well grab a gallon of milk and some bread. You know what I mean? Have you witnessed this? It's actually kind of interesting. Some of the most obscure stores that you would never think would have food products, other than like beef jerky or like, some candy bars by the cash register. Other than that, they have like a whole little refrigerator section now. I don't know, kind of weird, right? So it seems like a lot of these different stores are building out these different little grocery areas within them. And looks like 7-Eleven is also kind of banking on food here as well, kind of the food category, because that's where a lot of their biggest category as of right now, according to their research. So I don't know. I find it to be very interesting. Now, let's jump back to that idea that I had out a couple minutes ago, which is this. What is causing this? Is this just a little hiccup in, performance of 7-Eleven? Is it a bigger indicator saying like, hey, the overall economy is just really bad right now? Kind of what's the situation? Well, obviously, we don't really know what the situation is. Is it an internal thing with just 7-Eleven? Is it something that's happening all across the country? Like, what's going on here? I don't know. When I see hundreds of stores like this being closed all at once, or, being announced that they're being closed, it kind of waves a little bit of a flag like, that's not normal. That's not really that normal, right? To come out and be like, yeah, we're closing 444 stores. Doesn't matter who it is. And again, they have a huge portfolio, 13,000 plus locations across North America. So obviously it's a huge percentage, a small percentage of the total portfolio that they have. But it does make me wonder a little bit, why? Why is this happening, right? And again, and we've seen some other big retailers out there as well, closing different locations across the country. And maybe this is just the business cycle that we're in right now, that, hey, we just got to shift. We need to make some changes. We need to do some different things here because the economy has changed and the preferences of people have changed. The demand of different products and services have changed. Therefore, we got to kind of change our model a little bit. But I've been saying this for a long time, and I want to say it again really quickly. Nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to change with this economy, these high prices, the availability of different things, shrinkflation, whatever you want to call it. I mean, look at it however you want. But I think we can all probably agree these rapidly rising prices on food and shelter and healthcare and utilities and gas and fill in the blank with literally everything. It's all gone up and prices are still very elevated. Nothing is going to change about that. Nothing at all until we see a recession. I know that sounds weird to say, and I know I've said this before in other videos, which is that might be very unpopular for me to say, like, oh, don't wish for a recession. I say this much. We want a recession. At this point, we're going to have more of the same. I mean, here's the thing. Though the saying comes back, and I like to think of this saying all the time. If you want to change your life, you need to change your life, right? The same thing goes with the economy. If you want to change the economy, you've got to change the economy. How do you change the economy? Well, whack it with a recession. That'll change it, right? So that'll certainly change up the economy in a major way, and that would not be a bad thing, not at all. That's what it's a big reset, right? It'd be kind of a good thing, because if we don't get it, and if we don't get any kind of change like that, a major reset on the economy, guess what? We're going to get more of the same old thing. Nothing at all will change. I know this sounds weird, but I mean, here's the thing. Take your pick. More of the same, more struggle, more frustration, more, just not enough situations, or do we say, hey, let's work our way through a recession quick, get it over with, and it'll reset a lot of things, and it'll bring prices down as well. So there you go. Anyway, just want to share this with you really quickly. I find it to be fascinating. Anytime I come across information like this, I like to just bring it to you in a quick video, just to let you know, hey, this is what's going on out there, and let's look at the big picture. Why? Why is this happening? Well, obviously, we don't know the real situation, but we can speculate, and we can kind of deduct from the information that we have here, hey, this is maybe a logical reason why this is happening. Anyway, hope this helps you. Again, please like the video down below. Subscribe as well if you want to. Totally free to do so. Otherwise, check out the other videos here on the channel, 5,000 in the video library. The ones I've hand selected for you down below in the description or the top of the comment section. Some popular videos there. Otherwise, right now showing up on your screen, you'll see some videos as well. And right now, yeah, check out one of those. Otherwise, have a nice day. Take care, and I'll catch you.